what do I use software-wise with Facebook Marketplace dropshipping to keep track of my stock on my suppliers' websites for the same exact reason and constantly, adjust my prices automatically again so that I'm not taking losses on products and my prices are always automatically adjusting, okay? And the answer might shock a lot of you, but the truth is I don't, okay? I have over 10,000 listings now, and I still don't use a repricer with Facebook Marketplace. I still don't use any software to monitor my stock, and here's why, okay? When you're a beginner, you're not really gonna need it anyway, okay? So if you're just starting or you're just getting into it, you're not really gonna have the amount of listings where something like that's advantageous to you, paying the cost of it, because you're not getting the sales enough to justify it, and you don't have that many listings to really monitor, so it doesn't really even kind of benefit you that much, okay? It's not like you're scaled to the point where you can't manage it anymore, so you need a software to take it over, okay? Now moving into the intermediate and the advanced person, okay? In that aspect, that's the only time where it sounds advantageous because you don't have the time to monitor all your different listings at that point, and you kind of need a software to do it yourself. That said though, once you're scaled, you should be getting orders consistently, okay? And if you're getting orders consistently, then anytime you may need to cancel an order if it's out of stock, or anytime that you may need to cancel an order because the price has, increased on your supplier's website and now you're taking a loss, if you have to cancel an order in that time, then it's really just gonna get buried in your metrics and not gonna be that big of a deal because you're selling consistently enough as it is already, okay? And so that's the same thing that's happened with me, right? I have over 10,000 listings probably now. I really don't know, I haven't counted them, but it's gotta be up there around there. And I don't use anything to monitor my stock. I don't use anything to monitor my prices. And the reason is I rarely have to take a loss on a product. It happens, maybe every couple days to once a week or something like that. But if I have to take a loss on a product, I'll take a loss on a product and then I'll adjust my price then, okay? And then if, I'm taking a loss on a product that's like $50, okay, then I'll cancel the order. But again, then it just gets buried in my metrics because if I'm selling like 10 to 30 or 40 items a day or whatever it is, I'm selling enough that one canceled order is not gonna be a huge deal. And depending on your account, you can cancel up to 5% or up to 10% of your orders. I know different people have different metrics, like barometers there. Some people it's 5% you can't cancel over, some people it's 10, but regardless, you should never really hit that once you're scaling and you're selling consistently every day, right? Same thing with stock, right? If my supplier goes out of stock and I get an order there, well, what'll happen is I will either cancel that order or I'll put it in my spreadsheet if it's a good enough profit margin with like a little highlight in the spreadsheet that says this is out of order, this is out of stock, I still need to order it. And then, I'll wait a day, check it again, wait a day, check it again. And if, a couple days goes by and it's still out of stock, then I'll cancel that order at that time. And again, it's not really gonna ding me that much because it's just gonna get buried in my metrics because I'm selling so much, okay? So intermediate people don't really need to worry about this. Advanced people don't need to worry about this. And I don't think beginners need to worry about this as well, okay? I think a lot of people overcomplicate it because they think that like someone else out there that's doing really well has like this special software or this special sourcing strategy. And realistically, I don't think that you need a software currently right now to monitor your prices. I don't think that you need a software currently right now to monitor your stock. The only time that you would need that is if you're using like really obscure suppliers that constantly go in and out of stock. But chances are the majority of you aren't doing that. You're probably using the main ones that everybody else uses. And so if you're using the main ones that everybody else uses, the stock isn't really gonna change that much, right? And if it does, it's gonna come back very, very quickly, okay? So constantly, you're rarely gonna go out of stock on those suppliers if that's you, and the prices fluctuate barely. Every once in a while they'll fluctuate, but they barely fluctuate if they even do. And on top of that, you should be listing high enough because there's such a high margin potential on Facebook Marketplace that like if you're listing 30% higher or 40% higher or 50% higher or whatever it is that you're doing, a slight price increase on your supplier's website should not put you at a loss anyway, okay? And so that's my opinion on it. I wanted to address this because I constantly get asked this all the time. It's like, what software do I use to keep track of my stock? What software do I use to, reprice and automate my pricing on Facebook Marketplace? And the short, sweet answer is I don't, okay? The message I want to convey today is don't overcomplicate it. It's simple. Go out there, list a bunch of things. You will see what works for you. You will start to make consistent sales. And chances are, if you're not making consistent sales, you just need to list more, okay? Don't get caught up in shiny objects like what's the latest and greatest software. At the end of the day, if you have a software that's working for you right now to list, that's really all you need, all right?